One day your hostas look lush, healthy, and full of color. A few days later, the leaves are covered in holes, ragged edges, and damage that seems to appear overnight. For many gardeners, that's the moment panic sets in. Was it a disease? Too much rain? A nutrient problem? Or is something actually eating the plant? The frustrating part is that many hosta owners spend weeks treating the wrong problem. They add fertilizer, change their watering routine, or even spray products that have nothing to do with what's causing the damage. Meanwhile, the holes keep spreading. What's surprising is that the culprit isn't always the pest most people immediately blame. In fact, several different problems can create very similar-looking holes, and if you misidentify the cause, even the best fix won't work. There are a few clues hidden right on the leaves that can tell you exactly what's happening. Tiny details most gardeners overlook can reveal not only what's damaging the plant, but also when it's happening and why the problem often gets worse year after year. Before reaching for any treatment, there's one important thing you need to understand about hosta leaves and the conditions that make them such an easy target. Once you know that, the first real solution becomes much clearer. Let's start with the most common cause of holes in hosta leaves, and the reason so many gardeners unknowingly invite it into their garden. If hosta leaves seem to develop holes almost overnight, the first suspect is usually correct, but not for the reason many people think. Slugs and snails aren't attracted to unhealthy hostas. They're attracted to the exact conditions that help hostas thrive. Hostas love moisture, shade, and cool soil. Unfortunately, slugs love those same conditions. That's why a hosta growing in a damp, shaded corner often becomes a perfect nighttime feeding station. The damage usually appears in the morning because slugs do most of their feeding after dark. While you're asleep, they can chew through tender leaves and leave behind holes that seem to appear out of nowhere. Here's where gardeners often make the problem worse. Many water late in the evening. The soil stays damp all night, creating ideal conditions for slugs to move and feed. Others pile thick layers of mulch directly against the crowns of their hostas. That mulch holds moisture and creates hiding places where slugs can spend the day before emerging at night. A simple fix is to water earlier in the day whenever possible. This gives the soil surface time to dry before evening. Also check around the base of the plant for boards, stones, dense ground cover, or overly wet mulch where slugs may be hiding. But before you assume every hole is caused by slugs, take a close look at the shape of the damage. Large irregular holes scattered across the center of leaves often point towards slug feeding. Yet some hosta leaves develop damage that looks completely different, and that's where many gardeners start chasing the wrong culprit. In the next section, we'll look at a clue hidden in the edges of the leaves that can reveal whether something entirely different is responsible for the damage. After hearing that slugs are the biggest threat to hostas, many gardeners stop investigating. They set out traps, reduce watering, and wait for improvement. Yet weeks later, the leaves still look chewed up. That's because not every hole in a hosta leaf comes from a slug. Take a closer look at the edges of the damaged leaves. If the holes appear along the margins and look more like missing chunks than random openings in the middle of the leaf, another type of feeder may be involved. Caterpillars are one possibility. Unlike slugs, which often leave irregular holes throughout the leaf, caterpillars frequently start feeding from the edge and work inward. The damage can look surprisingly similar from a distance, but up close, the pattern is often very different. Another clue is timing. If you inspect your hostas with a flashlight after dark and find nothing, don't automatically assume the problem is solved. Some insects feed during the day, while others hide under leaves or nearby plants when temperatures rise. Here's a practical step many experienced gardeners use before treating anything. Inspect the plant early in the morning and again around dusk. Look underneath leaves, especially near the center of the plant where insects often shelter. A few minutes of observation can prevent weeks of treating the wrong problem. There's another reason this matters. When gardeners assume every hole is caused by pests, they sometimes overlook damage that isn't being caused by feeding at all. In fact, some hosta leaves develop openings that look like insect damage even though no pest created them. And once you know how that happens, you'll understand why some perfectly healthy hostas still end up with leaves full of holes. Here's something that catches many hosta growers off guard. Sometimes a leaf can end up full of holes even when insects aren't actively feeding on it anymore. The process often starts much earlier, when the leaf is still tightly rolled and expanding. At that stage, even a small amount of damage can become much more noticeable later. As the leaf unfolds and grows larger, tiny injuries stretch apart, creating holes that look as if something recently chewed through the leaf. This is one reason gardeners occasionally search for pests that are no longer there. Hail is a common example. Small hailstones can puncture young, developing leaves. A few weeks later, those punctures expand into larger holes as the leaf matures. Strong winds can cause a similar effect when emerging leaves rub against nearby branches, fences, or garden structures. Even heavy foot traffic around crowded planting beds can play a role. Bent or crushed young shoots may continue growing, but the damaged tissue eventually separates and leaves openings behind. The practical fix here isn't spray or a trap. Instead, look at the newest leaves. If fresh growth is emerging clean and undamaged, while only older leaves have holes, the problem may have already passed. In that case, the plant is often recovering on its own. This is where observation becomes more valuable than treatment. But there's another factor that can turn minor leaf damage into a much bigger problem. It doesn't create holes directly, yet it makes hostas far more vulnerable to whatever is causing them. And it often starts with a gardening habit that seems completely harmless. Even when pests are responsible for the holes, the condition of the plant often determines how severe the damage becomes. One of the most common mistakes is allowing hostas to become overcrowded year after year. At first, a large clump looks impressive. The leaves overlap, the bed appears full, and the plant seems healthy. But as the clump expands, air movement through the center becomes restricted. Moisture lingers longer after rain or watering, creating exactly the kind of environment that slugs, snails, and other moisture-loving pests prefer. The problem isn't the hosta itself. It's the microclimate that forms around it. Experienced gardeners often notice that the worst damage appears in dense plantings where leaves remain damp for long periods. A hosta growing with better airflow may sit only a few feet away and show far less damage. This is why dividing mature hostas every few years can do more than control their size. It improves airflow, reduces excessive moisture around the crown, and makes the area less inviting to pests. Another overlooked issue is garden debris. Dead leaves, old mulch, and decaying plant material can become daytime hiding spots. Slugs don't need to travel far when shelter and food are located in the same bed. A quick cleanup around the base of the plant won't eliminate every pest, but it removes many of the places where they spend most of the day. Now here's where things get interesting. Some gardeners do everything right. They improve airflow, reduce hiding spots, water properly, and still wake up to fresh holes in their hostas. That's because the real solution isn't just about reducing damage. It's about confirming exactly what's visiting your plants and stopping the problem before it becomes a season-long battle. By this point, you've seen that holes in hosta leaves can come from several different sources. That's why the most effective gardeners don't start with treatments. They start with evidence. One of the simplest techniques is also one of the most revealing. Check your hostas after dark with a flashlight. Many gardeners are surprised by what they find. A plant that looks perfectly quiet during the day may suddenly reveal slugs moving across the leaves or hiding near the crown. Seeing the pest firsthand removes the guesswork and helps you focus on the right solution. If slugs are present, hand picking can make a noticeable difference, especially in smaller gardens. Consistency matters more than doing it once. A few minutes every evening for several days often reduces feeding pressure far more effectively than many gardeners expect. For larger plantings, physical barriers and slug control products labeled for garden use can help when used according to their directions. The key is placing them before damage becomes severe, rather than waiting until leaves are heavily chewed. But don't stop with the leaves. Inspect the surrounding area as well. Look under pots, edging stones, dense ground covers, and any damp hiding places nearby. Eliminating shelter is often just as important as dealing with the pests themselves. And here's an observation longtime hosta growers frequently make. Once the first wave of damage is controlled, new leaves often emerge looking much better than expected. Hostas are remarkably resilient plants. A few holes may affect appearance, but they rarely spell disaster for an otherwise healthy specimen. There's one final step, though. It's the difference between solving this year's problem and preventing the same frustration from returning next season. When hosta leaves become covered in holes, it's easy to assume the plant is in trouble, but in most cases, the holes are simply a clue telling you something about the conditions in your garden. Sometimes that clue points to slugs feeding at night. Other times it points to caterpillars, environmental damage, or injuries that occurred while the leaves were still developing. The challenge isn't finding a treatment. It's identifying the true cause before taking action. That's why the most successful hosta growers spend a little time observing before they start fixing. Look at where the holes appear. Check whether the damage is on old leaves, new leaves, or both. Inspect the plant during different times of day. Pay attention to moisture, airflow, and potential hiding places around the bed. Those small observations often reveal more than any product ever will. The good news is that hostas are tougher than many gardeners realize. Once the underlying problem is addressed, new growth often emerges looking healthier, cleaner, and far less damaged. And because hostas return year after year, the improvements you make now can continue paying off season after season. The next time you spot holes in a hosta leaf, don't rush to blame the first pest you think of. Follow the clues the plant is giving you. More often than not, the real answer is simpler than it first appears. And once you know what you're looking for, those mysterious holes stop being a mystery altogether.